Good evening, Don Palayo here. I'm just getting home. It's 8:35 in the evening. Had a busy day today. I This morning I had to go for jury duty, which it's always so much fun. I've only done it twice. This is my second time having to go for jury duty. Um, I got there 8 o'clock. Had to be there 8 o'clock in the morning. Sat there for about 2.5 hours, and then they told us we could all go home. All the jurors got to go home. They just let us go at 10:30. So I went on to work and had a pretty busy day at work. So I needed to be there. There was part of me that wanted to I could just go home and just chill because they knew I was going to be at jury duty, but I knew that we had some big meetings coming up. We got some big stuff coming up at work, and I was like, I need to get in there, and it was a good thing that I did because there was a lot that I needed to do. Um, I DoorDashed after I left work. I get off my primary job at 5, and then I go right into DoorDash mode, and I did that for. I just got home, so 3.5 hours, and the DoorDash thing is actually it's a great little side hustle. It's I can make 400 or 500 bucks a week just doing a few hours in the evenings. That adds up over the course of a month. And it's like I can use that to pay down debt, save additional funds for things, and it comes in handy. Um, Oh boy, I am tired though. It's like the door dashing it is a good side hustle. One of the things that I like most about it is that you can kind of make your own schedule. You don't have to work a fixed schedule. If you don't feel like working, you just don't log into the app. And so it works out pretty well. But you just work as much as you want. Sometimes I do get a little burned out, and I just feel like I need to take a break. So that was me last Friday for sure. um, I was glad to see the stock market pop today. Market was up. I'm hoping to see a few more days like that. I'm wanting to see some positive momentum with the economy. I know there's a lot that needs to be fixed, but I feel like there's some positive change happening. It's just how quickly they're going to be able to get it done. With the midterms coming up next year, I just hope they're able to get enough progress made that where people want to see more of it. And I do worry that you know they won't be able to make enough progress quickly enough, and then people are like, "Well, we got to elect Democrats again." And although I'm hearing the Democrats are not very popular these days, I think this might be a time when we might wind up getting a third party. Some people, it's like they've always fought to try to keep down having additional parties in the mix, but it might not be a bad thing for us to have at least one more political party in the mix with things. Um, I'm hearing that some Democrats are wanting their party to be more on the liberal side, more on the AOC end of things. I don't think that's the way the Democrats need to go. I mean, I think the Democrats need to really moderate more right now. I feel like personally, especially when it comes to the social end of things, the Democrats have just gotten way, way, way out in the weeds for me. They started losing me. Well, I've never voted for Democrats, but I think it's just because of my traditional background, upbringing. Um, but they really started getting weird, when I remember back in 2008 when you had the whole the Proposition 8 thing that came out in California and all that, and and they killed the gay marriage thing in California back in 2008, and the liberals got all animated over that. I have a hard time understanding that culture. I don't, again, I come from a very traditional background. To me, a man is a man, a woman is a woman, and families are a mother and a father and kids, and that's the way it is. Other people don't feel the same way. So um, again, I think that's a part of what keeps a lot of people from voting for Democrats. The Democrats might do better. Um, you know, they could still support it, but maybe not advertise it quite so much. It's I don't know if it really helps them with especially with certain states in the country, certain areas, certain regions in the country. I do think that women are more open to all of that than men are. Also, I think there's a difference with the genders on that. I think women are just different that way. They're more open to that idea. Men are just like, ew. I don't know. Anyway, uh, so I don't know. I think the Democrats really need to focus more on their economic message. I think they actually have some good arguments on the economic side. If they would focus on that, I think they would do better. When they start getting into all this social stuff, the trans and LGBTQ stuff, it just loses a lot of people, I think. I don't in this last election, they were trying to make it all about abortion. And it's like, abortion is not, maybe it's popular in some places, but that's not as popular of a message as I think they think it is. Uh, there's a lot of people that do not see a difference between abortion and walking into the nursery at the hospital and just taking a gun and shooting babies in the head. Some people just don't. To them, there's no difference. They're the exact same thing. It's just you're just killing the baby a little bit earlier. so in some communities, that's the way it is. It's like I'm not saying this to be mean to anybody, that's how some people literally think about it. So, and maybe in the big cities that's that nobody seems to think twice about it, but in some of these more traditional areas of the country, that's how they feel about it. So, I don't know. Democrats need to focus on their economic message. I think that's the strongest position that they have. If they want to win, to win an election. I think when they start getting into the social stuff, it just loses a lot of people. So Republicans, now I can criticize Republicans too. Trust me. There's been times that the Republicans have frustrated me a lot. One of the things with Republicans is we always, during the election, we're always talking about being fiscally responsible and yada yada yada. Well, where is it, Republicans? We don't do much of a better job with that either. It's like, oh, we get to cut taxes now, and it's like, okay, and I understand their idea that we're gonna, but they never cut the spending. They don't. Republicans don't cut spending. Democrats usually ramp it up, but Republicans don't cut it. It's I don't know. It's very frustrating. Trump is finally like the first Republican that's tried to really do something about the spending. I mean, in this term, in his first term, he didn't do much of it either. He didn't do much cost cutting in his first term. And then when COVID hit, we ramped up spending, a ton to try to keep things from really falling apart. And so the government took on a lot of debt during COVID. And so he had a massive debt, a massive amount that he added to the debt in his first term. That's absolutely true. This term, I think that's one of his biggest regrets from his first term. I think he's really trying to do something about the spending now. Some people don't like it. I think there's a lot of Republicans that don't like it. And it's like, look, people, we can't keep kicking this can down the road. at some point we have to be able to pay our bills. It's like we can't just keep taking on taking bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger deficits and growing our interest payments more and more and more and more. We need to start slowly getting this deficit thing under control. Let's get a balanced budget where we're actually, meeting our expenses, and then maybe we can actually have a surplus budget. I know, what a crazy idea that would be, right? Having a surplus. We did have a surplus during the Clinton administration, just briefly. It didn't last long, but we did. But what did it take for us to get a surplus budget? We had to have a huge revolutionary technological change that changed the entire world, and that allowed us to get to a surplus budget for a few months. It's like the internet. The internet and Microsoft and Office and all of that came out during the Clinton administration, and that's what really, the tech boom was what really generated that surplus that we had. And without that, and I don't know why our politicians can't get their act together that way. It just, I don't know. It drives me nuts. Republicans don't do it. Democrats don't do it. None of them do it. I want to see a surplus budget, and I want to see it last for a while, enough to where we can start paying off some of this $37 trillion in debt that we have. That would be amazing, Washington, D.C. That would be amazing. I would really like to see that. That would be, I would be tickled pink. I would just be absolutely beside myself to see that. I would be so happy. I don't know if I'll ever see that in my lifetime. I'd like to see it in my lifetime, but I'm not holding my breath on that. The politicians in Washington, D.C. just can't get their shit together, so it is what it is. Anyway, I am tired. Tomorrow is Tuesday. It feels like it should be about Thursday. But yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. We've had some big client meetings, at work, and we got another big one tomorrow that I've been prepping for. We've got some pretty big, heavy hitter clients here recently that we're working with. I'm hoping that everything goes well. I'm, it's a tough world out there right now. A lot of people are cutting back, their expenses. Even among the affluent, there's still some people pulling the purse strings a little tighter. So we'll see. But anyway, I hope everyone has a great evening. Get a good night's sleep. I'm going to be going to bed here shortly. 5 o'clock in the morning, we'll be here before you know it. I may be up at 5. We'll see what happens. I feel tired, but we'll see. Anyway, you guys have a great evening. Remember, I've got my Cash App link, Fight the Decline, talking about the decline of our country, the decline of our civilization. It just gives me encouragement to put this stuff out there. I'm not talking, a buck or two. That'd be great. If not, I understand. People are pulling back right now. I get it. But I really feel like we need to really push back against the decline that we've seen in our country the last few decades, and that was what inspired that handle. And I worry about our kids and grandkids more and more. I'm thinking a lot about my own kids and what I can do to help them as much as I possibly can. So anyway, you guys have a great evening.